Flatulence. Joe Biden is blowing out a lot of hot air in more ways than one. Let me explain. Last week, there was a rumor that Joe Biden may have had poopy pants when meeting the Pope. And now there's a first-hand account of him, wait for it, blowing hot air out his rear end. While he was supposed to be advocating for lowering carbon emissions at the COP Climate Summit, apparently he was personally raising them. If that's not appropriate for the times we live, I don't know what is. Joe Blow attended a reception during the COP Climate Summit last week at the Kelvin Grove Art Gallery and met up with Prince Charles, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, and Prime Minister Boris Johnson. And apparently, Camilla blushed when Joe let her rip. It was long and loud and impossible to ignore, the source said. Camilla hasn't stopped talking about it. This photo must have been captured at the point of release. You don't want to hold that one in. Joe has enough health problems after all. So that brings us to today's question. At what point can the 25th be invoked? Because...
Come on, man. Come on.
So you let me know in the comments what the heck it is going to take to invoke the 25th. And if you could spread the farts by sharing this video, it would be appreciated. Of course, the White House didn't comment on Fartgate 2021, which means it probably happened, because otherwise they would flatulently deny it, right? Snopes began to sniff around and find out if the fart flew, and the results came back as unproven. I'm just so glad we have fact checkers to find which way the fart blew. Rumor has it, as Adele says, but regardless if he farted in public or not, again, we have plenty of evidence of his lack of control of his faculties. The alleged fart was but a few hours after another incident that would commonly happen to people who are about 150 years old and who should not be supposedly running a country. You know, I'm just relieved that we now know what he has been doing with those hands with Anderson Cooper.
Just in terms of inflation, because you had told us at the town hall, I think it was in July.
This takes bloviating to a new level. You can see he definitely is trying to hold it in. Anywho, there's a whole lot of hot air coming out of another of his orifices. He huffed and puffed a lot during his press conference on the jab availability for the children and made the oopsie of calling on Fox News' Peter Doocy at the end of the press conference.
This ought to be good.
I think so too. About the way forward, Mr. President, as you were leaving for your overseas trip, there were reports that were surfacing that your administration is planning to pay illegal immigrants who are separated from their families at the border up to $450,000 each, possibly $1 million per family. Do you think that that might incentivize more people to come over illegally?
If you guys keep sending that garbage out, yeah, but it's not true.
So this is a garbage report?
Yeah.
Okay. So
$450,000 per person. Is that what you're saying?
That was separated from a family member at the border under the last administration.
That's not going to happen.
Okay.
Or is it?
The president is perfectly comfortable with the Department of Justice settling with the individuals and families who are currently in litigation with the U.S. government. You know, DOJ can obviously speak more to that process. The president what he was reacting to was the dollar figure that was mentioned, that you mentioned to him yesterday.
Perfectly comfortable in his slippers and pajamas. Just remember, because Joe can't. Of course, the best part of the whole jab press conference was watching Biden robotically leave and then pop back in like, I don't know, a weasel would.
A year before the midterm election, sir, is the Democratic Party too woke?
Congratulations, Democrats, on getting that bill passed.
Get it to my desk.
Pop goes the Biden because the Biden goes pop. He's been having issues outside of his tummy for years with the press. It's because he's an angry fellow. So when he blew up several times this week, it was par for the course. And again, on this issue of $450,000 to the illegals.
You said last week that this report about migrant families at the border getting payments was garbage.
No, I didn't say that. Let's get it straight. You said everybody coming across the border gets $450,000.
So the number was what you had a
The
problem
number I was referring to.
Oh, that's what you meant. You totally knew what was happening.
Okay.
Now here's the thing.
Sure.
If in fact, because of the outrageous behavior of the last administration, you coming across the border, whether it was legal or illegal, and you lost your child, it's gone, you deserve some kind of compensation, no matter what the circumstance. What that will be, I have no idea. I have no idea.
He has no idea.
Mr. President, Democratic Congress.
When he wasn't mad at the press, Biden was mocking all of us, the non-gassy people.
So people are worried. People are also worried about, coming up, they don't, understandably. Why is the price of agricultural products, when I go to the store, why is it higher? Like, for example, if we were all going out and having lunch together and I said, let's ask whoever's in the next table, no matter what restaurant we're in, have them explain the supply chain to us. Think they'd understand what we're talking about? They're smart people, but supply chain. Well, why is everything backed up? Well, it's backed up because the people who supply the materials that end up being on our kitchen table or in our life. Guess what? They're closed those plants because they have COVID. They're not. So it's a complicated world.
Oh, my word. It's a complicated world. He can't even string together a sentence, and he thinks we don't know how the supply chain works. He doesn't know how a sentence works, so get out of here. No, really. Get out of here. And that's what Americans are saying in the poll numbers. A poll from Tip Insights shows that 50.5% of Americans do not think Biden is mentally sharp. And the thing is, that poll happened before he potentially pooped his pants, fell asleep, and farted on royalty. And then the USA Today Suffolk University poll taken this week shows that 59% of people disapprove of what Biden has done as president. And the second in line only has an approval rating of 27.8%. Maybe Joe's not the only one letting all the air out. Which brings us to... Where in the world is Kamalama Ding Dong? This week, Harris popped out like a weasel to stand 6 feet from Biden while he boasted about the infrastructure waste of your money in the amount of $1.2 trillion. She then promptly saw her shadow and hid back in her hole. So no one wants either Biden or Harris to run, which is a shame because I found Joe's campaign video for when the world asked him to not run ever again.
I don't intend to be anybody but Joe Biden. That's who I am. And what I'm trying to do is do the things that I ran on to do.
Clear as mud or poopy pants, whatever. Hot air is coming out of the youngins, too. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez took to her normal way of complaining. Instagram. She decided that it was appropriate to blame the loss of Terry McAuliffe and other Democrats in Virginia, not because they were suggesting parents should have no control of education of their kids or that mandate, but they lost because they weren't far left enough. Ah, yes. That makes sense in her hamster wheel.
Plus, on the election front, I actually think we have good news as well. I know that Virginia was a huge bummer, and honestly, if anything, I think that the results show the limits of trying to run a fully 100% super moderated campaign that does not excite, speak to, or energize a progressive base. And frankly, we weren't even really invited to contribute on that race.
Because she always needs to be personally invited and have things made easy for her and her ilk. Don't even think of blaming her being woke, because it just means you are old. One of those moderate old Democrats named James Carville used the term woke, and AOC put him on blast because she's queen and says wokeness is a term almost exclusively used by older people these days. Woke, woke, woke. I have enjoyed the backpedaling by the AOCs of the world over the Democrats' losses in Virginia. AOC and her ilk know best. It was obviously all that race baiting. Those right-wing male whiteys won all the seats, like the new lieutenant governor of Virginia. Oh. Winsome Sears is not a white male. She is actually the first woman of color elected to a statewide office in Virginia. She's also an immigrant who, before joining public office, ran a homeless shelter. But she's a Republican. Quick, we have to find something to make her sound really bad because she's not following the woke narrative. She must be canceled.
When I joined the Marine Corps, I was still a Jamaican, but this country had done so much for me. I was willing to die for this country. I'm telling you that what you are looking at is the American dream. The American dream.
Okay, she was in the evil military and she believes in the American dream. We're good now. We can hate her. For those of you who couldn't tell, that was all sarcasm. Don't put your hate now in the comments. Just keep blaming racism for, I believe, the newest of the dumbest things that have been claimed racist. Roadways.
I'm still surprised that some people were surprised when I pointed to the fact that if a highway was built for the purpose of dividing a white and a black neighborhood, or if an underpass was constructed such that a bus carrying mostly black and Puerto Rican kids to a beach, or that would have been, in New York was designed too low for it to pass by, that obviously reflects racism that went into those design choices. I don't think we have anything to lose by confronting that simple reality, and I think we have everything to gain by acknowledging it and then dealing with it, which is why the Reconnecting Communities, that $1 billion, is something we want to get to work right away.
Pete is the buttage edge of so many jokes, but I don't want to make more reference to that region of the body and what comes out of it because, you know, Joe Blow. I'm done blowing my own hot air for now, but let me know your thoughts in the comments on all that happened this week. And don't forget to share this hot air with all your friends. Let Joe know that you do not care for his air. Until next time, let's go Brandon, and stay healthy, America. Hey team, most of you know our shows have been censored by Facebook and YouTube for years, which makes it very hard to keep up with the cost of production.
But thanks to our Patriot Club members, we have not only been able to keep things going, but to add more programming. We're doing 18 new shows a week, 18.
In fact, we've got big plans in motion for our viewers, especially our Patriot Club members.
So please consider supporting our freedom-loving media by joining the Patriot Club this year. For a $99 tax-deductible donation, we will send you our 20-ounce stainless steel navy blue tumbler etched with the words American Patriot, standing atop the shoulders of a rather fit-looking George Washington.
And for $129 gift, we'll also include a 15-ounce stainless steel mug as a token of our appreciation. All you have to do is visit patriotclub.us and become a Patriot Club member today.
That's patriotclub.us. Thank you, and God bless.